Welcome back to Loveland Report and Lone Ranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland alongside Bruce Woodburn. We've been diving into the market, the numbers, the interest rates. We will take care of you in real estate and getting you the money. Bruce has a big safe here full of cash.
I do.
And we just get you a fancy one of those little silver stainless steel briefcases. You can carry it all into your closing.
Yep. Big bag of cash.
I had
Bitcoins.
I had that happen one time. Long time ago, a guy brought cash.
You wouldn't.
Can't do that now.
The title company wouldn't even take
the
a
FBI
check.
would greet you in the parking lot. Anyway, listings. I've got some listings.
Let's hear about them.
Mount Dora, great property. Short little bike ride from downtown Mount Dora, 520,000, 2,700 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, over a 1/3 acre lot, totally redone inside for $519,900. Great location. And this is also, 2,600 square feet, Bruce, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths.
It's a nice house.
Some of the little cottages in Mount Dora are for $480,000 for 1,300 square feet. So great buy on that, in excellent condition. Plymouth Sorrento Road, right by all the growth along the 429 and Apopka, half-acre yard, 1,300 square foot home with an in-ground pool for $365,000.
Nice.
And no HOA. And you're set back from the road, private lot, inside, cute as a button. Everything's done. Everything's renovated. Conway Gardens. This is a cool compound. $785,000 for this, Bruce. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, in-law suite, 3,100 square feet, and a 3/4 acre lot. So this is right downtown in Conway, and beautiful property, kind of a Spanish villa style. New tile roof in the last couple of years. Tile roof was redone after one of the storms. Don't have to worry about that. But pool, guest suite, cabana outside, beautiful office with 360-degree views and windows all around it. And then we go into
that one's for how much?
$785,000.
That's a beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful property.
And then Dr. Phillips, Cypress Landing. I've got a beautiful house here. This is the Estates of Cypress Landing. So a 1/3 acre lot, side entry garages. And this is like a New Orleans French provincial home, double balconies out front, masters on the first floor. The owner spent over $100K in upgrades, 3,500 square feet, master and den on the first floor, all new wood floors throughout, and tile flooring throughout the first floor. And upstairs, 3 bedrooms plus a bonus room. 2 baths upstairs for those 3 bedrooms in the bonus room. And then you've got a pool out back with travertine decking. And then you've got a gas fireplace in the living room. Just beautiful property. And then Winter Springs, 497,000, 2,000 square feet, oversized 1/3 acre lot. Everything's renovated, all brand new.
There you go. Inside. You can get Winter Springs for under $500.
Down to the studs, all redone. So, and then you've got a very limited HOA on this one. It's in the Highlands.
Beautiful.
They're not really invasive. They're not going to tell you what color your flowers have to be and that kind of stuff. And then in Clermont, in the Palisades, it's another big neighborhood, 1/4 acre lots, executive home, 2,700 square feet, 595,000, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths with a pool. Now, Bruce, this is the neighborhood. There was 6 other listings. I just did this for the seller, new listing.
Know the area well.
6 other listings just came on. Ours just came on. All their listings above 600,000. Not as nice a home either.
And yours is how much?
2,700 square feet with a pool for $596. That will be gone within 2 weeks. And so this is what's important about the market, knowing your competition. The seller's totally happy with that. But all those sellers in the 600s aren't being instructed on what's actually
true. Well, they're not selling.
Yeah, they're not moving. So then I've got a great starter home in Polk City, right outside of Lakeland, 209,000, Auburndale area, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,000 square feet on a half-acre lot, Bruce, with no HOA for $209,000. Electric fireplace in the family room, luxury vinyl flooring, brand new kitchen with quartz countertops, brand new stainless appliances. Everything in this is renovated. $209,000 for that. And call me if you want to take a look at any of those. 407-352-8118.
Or get pre-approved by the Lone Ranger right now so you can make your offer and be just like a cash offer. You see, when my clients have a pre-approval from me, I will literally guarantee the seller that I'll close that loan on time, or I'll pay the seller up to $500 a day for every day we miss the closing. You don't think I'm going to end up paying that money, do you? No. Why? Because we don't miss closings at Cross Country Mortgage. Call the Lone Ranger at 407-250-9144 or WeBringYouHome.com. So I wanted to talk to you before we get into hurricane season. I wanted to mention to you that I've been working with a builder. They will build all over Central Florida and all the way down to Cape Coral. And I will be previewing them on my show tomorrow, and you will be able to hear what they do with printing 3D homes. So I just
Hold on.
closed
They're
and funded, and I have now closed on the first 3D printed home. Unbelievable. This thing is hurricane resistant.
This is where the machine lays the concrete out. It's all computerized.
It's all dripped, and then they fill. It's really a sandwich. It's like it's like an Oreo cookie without the cream. And then they put all the lines in it, and then they fill it up. Instead of using Oreo cream, they use insulation, which is unique because I think Oreo cream would be a wonderful insulator. However, they use insulation.
I like
so
some
they
Oreos.
are, and who doesn't? And these things are super, super strong, like stronger than block.
Yeah.
And so this whole house was 3D printed.
Is that process faster?
Much faster. They can build the house in like a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've
awesome.
once the equipment's set up, it's just.
Does it do the interior walls too?
Yeah, it'll do it. And they're solid walls. They're hollow, but they're concrete. They're not.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
I mean, it's super impressive.
Have you got that video on your website?
I do. Matter of fact, I'm previewing Minneapolis homes. So they started off building tiny homes, and that's all they were doing. But they weren't really tiny homes, because tiny homes are like,
that's what you tow behind your car.
Yeah,
they're glorified campers.
These are really they were smaller homes, but they still met conventional and FHA guidelines for minimum square feet. Because I think minimum square footage on a conventional loan is like 750 square feet.
Really?
These are 900.
I didn't know there was a minimum.
Oh yeah. These are like 950 square feet and up. But now they're building luxury homes. They're building commercial buildings with this process.
That's great.
It's incredible. So 3D printed homes. If you're interested in talking to my friends, Cleve and I can connect you with our friends.
You've got the construction perm loan to work with.
I got a construction perm loan to work with. Absolutely. I most certainly do. By the way, you can call Cleve now at 407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Also, I wanted to talk about hurricane season. So we're in hurricane season. Okay. There's no telling when a storm's going to come up, and it doesn't have to be a hurricane to affect you. But if you are in the process of purchasing a home and you have a closing date, if a storm typically gets within about 500 miles, they're going to cut off all binding and insurance. Okay. Now, different insurance companies operate differently. Some are 800 miles, some are 500 miles. But here's the thing. If you don't secure your insurance, you could miss your closings. So you want to make sure your insurance is all bound in.
Because we go to like a tropical storm warning. That's it.
Yeah. So typically when a buyer is buying a home, they don't actually pay the premium until they get to the closing table. But if you do that during hurricane season, you may miss out and not be able to bind the policy at all. So we want to make sure that you're bound in advance. Be prepared for hurricanes. Real estate agents, make sure you advise your clients properly. This is the time to do that.
Well, we check when we know that's happening. That's the first thing I always tell my transaction coordinators to check on that and get that going. And I just real quick, if you people need something on insurance, we're talking about how the market's returning. Companies are coming into Florida. Go to We Shop Home Insurance now with our friend John Tankersley, and then but look, you got to go into your insurance now. You got to check the coverages. I went through my policy because I got a premium hike.
Yep.
But I called them up and I shopped it. And they're like, well, you got coverage for sheds in your dock. And I'm like, I don't need that. I don't have that. I had $300,000 in furniture. I'm like, I don't have $300,000 in furniture.
No. Well, you have those original Monet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't even know what that is. But I just have, up my firearms insurance, but things like that. You got to shop your insurance and know what you're getting on something like that. So, but when you do that, I got my premium back down to where a little bit less than what it was before, and it's funny, most insurance companies, when a company pulls out of Florida, and I think it's kind of stopped now, it's leveled off, they would all of a sudden, they'd have like 300, 400 orphaned homeowners, and they got to find them new insurance. So if you called your insurance company, good luck getting them to call you back. I think they're adapting to that. They're getting where there's a couple companies you can go online and shop it and pick your coverages, things like that. So be aware of that, because that's going to affect your property. It affects the mortgage, Bruce. If the insurance is $600
certainly
instead of $300, It affects their debt to income ratio.
Absolutely, it does.
It could cost you the loan.
Every $100 more is $8.33.
But knowing all these things and getting all these things done, this is what I do in a buyer consult. I sit down with a buyer and we'll go through everything and say, look, this is what we think insurance will be on a 1,600 square foot starter home. And I just did that for the couple we got the 6% in closing costs for.
Yep.
And I laid everything out. And I said, I think you'll be in about the $2,500 range. Well, turns out they were $2,400.
Yeah.
So we were close on that estimate, but they know their numbers. They knew what they were looking at. And then I said, go back and check the deductibles. You might be able to get a little less, do a $2,500 deductible. Don't do $1,000, that kind of thing. And so you got to know all these things. And this comes from experience. This does not come from your brother, sister, cousin, who's a part-time worker at Gatorland, and then also does real estate every once in a while when somebody buys a home. They raise their hand and go, oh, pick me. So be careful of that. Call Loveland Properties at 407-352-8118. But I think, Bruce, now is the time to buy. It's hard to call the bottom.
Gosh.
I was wrong.
Sellers are working deals right now.
I will say this because I called the bottom back in January. I'm like, oh my God, we got a new president. This is going to be awesome. Everything's going to be hunky dory. It's still kind of blah in the real estate market, but stuff is
which
moving.
is good for buyers. It's very good for buyers. I find that most people that really should be jumping into the market are still a little apprehensive to jump in right now. And I think that they need to wake up and see what the opportunities are and negotiate a deal. I think that it's an important thing to do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about just a few programs that may be interesting to some folks. So first-time home buyers, that there's FHA for 3.5% down. Did you know there's a conventional 3% down that has reduced PMI and reduced interest rate?
Is that new? Because that 3% PMI,
it's only for first-time home buyers. It's a conventional 3% down, home possible and home ready. And you can use border income if you can prove border income in the past.
What's border income? You're smuggling drugs across the border? What's border income?
No. You actually have people renting. So
border, that kind of border. Okay.
Yeah, and listen to this, folks. If you're renting right now and you have other roommates, what you want to do is you want to collect your other roommates' rent and then you pay the landlord one check. If you can show a history of that, then you can use that border income when you go to purchase your home, provided you have a bona fide border. So those opportunities are absolutely there. I also have physician loans up to $2 million that you can get in for as little as no money down and no PMI.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Well, I mentioned people just stop whining, dip your toe in the market, go buy. I mean, I've never had anybody, Bruce, if you get them qualified, I've had them whine about, I don't like these houses because I'm only qualified to 350. I'm like, all right, well, go get a better job, pay off something, talk to Bruce, get a gift. There's all kinds of other things to do. This is the market, but at least okay, I don't like what's out there at 350. I need to pay my car down. I need to get a raise. I need to get another, better job, whatever it is, where you're at. Like, I know I'm fast tracked with you guys. Actually, I won't have to fast track because I'm probably doing a DSCR.
Yes, now you are. So I'm buying, the rates are just
I'm buying two. Yeah. I'm buying 2 homes this year for rental properties and keep my leapfrog program going. And I just got to know where you're at. And then you can go from there. And then, hey, if rates do come down to 6.25 and you were at 6.75, oh my God, you can afford $30,000-$40,000 more home, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Most certainly can. So listen, if you're looking to purchase, then give Cleve a call. He'll help you with your listing as well. Unbelievable at making sure you always get the most for your listing. He can be reached at 407-352-8118. Get your mortgage application made right now. I can promise you will not find a lender that you will want to work with more than us. I promise you. If I don't completely live up to your expectations, fire me on the spot. Call me now at 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. So I am finding that I'm getting more calls for reverse mortgages these days.
Okay.
So as I've told, and I've been very clear that my reverse mortgages, we have a great product. However, I'm not always a big fan of them. So if you are considering a reverse mortgage, talk to me first. I'll tell you whether I think a reverse is the right thing for you. Cleve, give out your number one.
407-352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. We'll be right back.
Yep. We'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report, the Lone Ranger Show. Again, the Lone Ranger can be reached at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. I want to talk a little bit more about strategies and the Fed when we come back.